So this is the third of my Hearts of Wulin sessions for Gauntlet Con. Each of them named slightly differently. This is Red City. If I had realized it, I actually color-coded to this with my Gauntlet Hangout shirt. I should have done that yesterday. I should have done a black shirt and then a green shirt. I did not do that. Foolishness on my part. So welcome. This is Hearts of Wulin, which is a PbtA hack borrowed from a number of sources, put together, reworked to cover wushu melodrama. In particular, I've given people as the touchstone Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, that movie, because we have those characters that there's action, but there's also unrequited love and people who can't talk about their feelings. But I'd say, for me, the even bigger influence are these Chinese wushu soap opera TV series that are, 26, 30, 50 episodes, and they are based on older novels from the 60s. So that's sort of my thing, and they're big, long soap opera melodramas with factions and so on. So with that in mind, I am super white. But we are going to try to be respectful of the culture that's here. This is a fictional China, most assuredly, and it's many steps removed. I'm doing a PbtA game based on a series of TV shows that are translated into English that are originally based on novels from China. So there are many steps removed. So we're trying to celebrate that genre and play out those conventions, but again, it is a fantastical China rather than a historical one. With that in mind, this is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts, and one of our key elements here for the Gauntlet Hangouts is that we use safety tools. So for our session, I know everybody here is familiar with it. We're using the X card, very basic safety tool. If we hit problems with content, with things that might trigger experiences, or even tone, we can X card that, or you can also do that in the chat, and we'll edit past it. I may ask for clarification about the framing of that. It's a very basic tool, but I think it works for the tight context that we are working in. So what people are going to see today, if you're watching this episode and you don't want to watch character creation, you should jump forward an hour, because we're going to play an hour, take a break, play 3 hours, take another break in that. And you may see me hard frame a little bit towards the end if you're watching this. I do want to mention that this game is obviously in a work in progress. It is a game that it has functioned. But today we're playing it. So this is play, not a play test. So we're not going to stop off to talk about, well, we should change this or things or get feedback at the end. I welcome that, but we'll do that. You can send me notes, observations. I would love that. But we'll do that afterwards because I want to play something today and get a full story. I sent you all a set of what I consider sort of the basics of the genre. I just want to go over a couple of things to kind of reinforce those. This is melodrama, so lean into the tragedy and the unrequited loves and all of that. It is a setting where people speak obliquely about their feelings, and what I mean by that is, go back to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. The two older main characters, they clearly love each other. They're clearly in love, but they can't say that. They have to talk around it, and they have to mention their dead lover / friend. It's hard to do that, and only once they kind of push through, that's when we kind of move to moves about your inner conflicts. It is also a game about duty, and it's a game about sincerity. People believe things. People believe things that are written down. People buy into disguises. All of that. So there is a little bit of being willing to suspend disbelief. And sometimes you'll hear me say, "Well, he is obviously lying to you when he says this," just to make it clear with the tone of things. And you're awesome. all of your characters are awesome. I just want to tell you that right at the start. You're all Wulin. You all get to do the light foot up to the buildings. You all get to do punches. When you fight, you're going to get a chance to describe how awesome you are. So keep that in mind. Everybody can do those kinds of things we see in those movies. There is, people talk about the supernatural, ghosts and nine-tailed foxes and all those things, but those are kind of off the table for this. We do fantastical things, but the supernatural and magic are not sort of in the world that we are playing in. All right, so we have this Google spreadsheet with the character creation process. What we're going to do here is I'm going to go around and get everybody to choose their playbook. And then we're going to start the character creation process that we'll talk about. Each playbook has 3 roles. You'll see that with a distinct move. So when you choose your playbook, you'll get like a little agenda. You'll get a move for the role you choose, and then you get 2 other moves. So I know that Darren and Maria have both played this before. Is it Matthias or Matthias?
Matthias.
Matthias.
But if you mix it up, don't worry
Okay.
about it, please.
Matthias, is there a particular playbook that you're looking at? I'm going to give you and Hios the first picks on this. That's his. I'm sure he's. I don't know if that's your real name or not.
No. That's the name of my channel. My name is Angel.
Angel. Okay. So Matthias.
I'm looking at the Bravo as the one that I'm feeling, I think.
Okay.
I'm between the student or the unorthodox. Could you tell me a little bit more about the unorthodox?
So the unorthodox is a little bit different from the rest of the characters because they're, as you can see, they're a little bit strange. So the 3 roles that we have there, the accidental is kind of the bumbling character who we see in these movies, who they don't look like they actually know martial arts, but they happen to knock people down and so on. It's more of a comedic thing. The hidden, these are martial artists who have done something and need to hide their talent. People are hunting them, and so they're trying to keep away from those people and not reveal their skill. And then the prodigy is my Avatar, The Last Airbender character, the character that can't quite control their power. So they're very good, but they cause a lot of fallout damage.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the unorthodox and the prodigy.
Okay, all right. So we have a Bravo, we have an unorthodox. Maria?
Outsider.
Outsider. Okay. So Darren, I have narrowed the list to 3 before I even came to you.
You really have.
Making it easier for you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And yet.
Yet.
I think I'm just going to go with loyal. I want to be a World Classic swordsman.
Okay. Awesome. So let me talk about the process we're going to work through on the CC1 Basics tab. You will see that I've got the steps that we're going to work through. I'm going to let you go and work through up to 4, and you can do that kind of in any order that you want to. While you're doing that, I'll talk a little bit about mechanics sort of in the background to give you some ideas on that. If you need inspiration, the Factions and Names tab has names for styles. It has male first names, female first names, and it has your Wulin name. You can decide to have that, have a more cool martial artsy sounding name if you want. Welcome to have both if you'd like. You'll also notice above that we've got some names of the factions. These are the different groups that operate in the game. And when we come to talk about your character, about their background, you're going to be associated with one of those. either you're part of them or you oppose them or some combination of that. So keep in mind those names when we kind of go to introductions to pull those things in. So we're going to go up to step 4. We're going to do introductions, and then we'll do our entanglements, which are our social mix-up stuff. So you can all grab a column on the character page and get started. If you have any questions, hit me up. I'll wait a few minutes before I start rules blathering. I'll say this again, as some people have played with me before, but just a reminder, I have a very bad Indiana Hoosier accent. So if at some point you don't understand what I'm saying or I'm talking really, really blathering too fast, ask me to repeat myself. I will not be offended.
A Hoosier accent's the standard American accent.
No.
Somebody would have you believe that.
Yes. I will say some of the words that are problematic for the Hoosier accent. Settler. Rural.
Yeah, rural's real.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh no, what is my picture doing? Get down there. I think I spent like half the time just trying to move a picture on that. Okay.
So for those of you that haven't played, let me tell you about sort of the key concept that probably want to keep in mind. We have those 5 stats: earth, fire, metal, water, and wood. Those are called chi. For most things, when you go to make a roll, to make a move, you get to decide what you're going to roll with. And each of those has kind of a feeling or a state or an approach that goes with them. It's a little bit like the Veil. It's a little bit like Fate Accelerated in that you have those choices and it kind of defines the fiction of what you're doing. Sometimes you will take damage. And when you take damage, you'll actually mark chi. When your chi is marked in that checkbox, it means you can't roll with it. So harm will start to limit your options. At any time when you have to mark chi, you can instead opt to mark the wounded box, and that can be physical, that can be emotional, and that gives you a -2 ongoing, but you still get to use your chi. Your style will have an element associated with it that kind of tells us what your fighting style looks like, and it also defines what element you'll roll when you fight. That's one of the few things where we say, when you go to do this move, you definitely roll this element. Darren, you may see me about to do a little fancy cut and paste thing that may not work to get you a second wound box on your thing.
Okay.
Okay. So. Okay. Let me.
False.
Okay. There you go.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to give you another couple of minutes here before we start introductions.
I am ready.
Me as well, I think.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way across. We're going to start with Darren here. I'm going to work my way left to right, so we have a definitive order there. And I'm going to have you introduce your character, and I may ask you some. You know, you know how I do this. You want to fall in the middle somewhere. I'm going to ask you some questions, obviously, about character, and we'll figure out how you are. Again, the Wulin world is kind of outside the normal world, so we're going to figure out how you stand in that particular society amongst those factions. So, Darren, tell us about your character.
My character goes by the name of First Snow. She uses she/her pronouns. She is the favorite daughter of her clan, and I think like this her father considered her this like wonderkind child. So I think she had a very rough childhood where she learned to be this like swords person. And so yeah, and then I have there's a sad backstory where her father is dead now, of course, and she has to take up the mantle, as it were. I'm thinking. So I think she's kind of just a self-serious like protector, warrior type of person who is like very concerned with her duty and doing right by what she thinks her father would want and what her clan wants, and like just good in general, you know, light burdens.
Okay, just the light stuff of the weight of the entire family on you.
Yeah, no big deal.
So tell me, let me ask then, we've got the list of factions, and they're kind of split, and you know this, but I'll go over it. We've got sort of unrighteous, unorthodox. We've got righteous, orthodox. We've got the sort of ambiguous in the middle. That's not necessarily good and evil, but it's sort of how they're perceived, is whether they do act in accordance with virtues, or maybe are perceived as not, or maybe take them more strictly, or are definitely the good guys, as it were. Do you have a particular faction that you want to be associated with?
I think it's got to be the Purity Sword sect.
Okay.
Easy peasy. Just gonna lean roll into the sword.
Okay. So two questions about things that occur to me here right now. Tell me about this famous sword you've got.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a name for it. I keep thinking about it, but couldn't. Yeah, what's this legendary sword, right? I think that the legend goes that it was forged in it was forged off the coast and it's like has a core of like coral in it, and I think it has like it was first used by like the river god, and like somehow along the way, probably some poor man found it at the bottom of a stream, and it just has like the abilities to last through time, and its edge never dulls,
and so with that, what is it? What is it? Is it called? Like, is coral in the name of it, or sea, or?
Yeah, maybe it's something like the source something like oh, what does coral look like? It's like, I don't know. I can't think of a legendary.
Okay, well, I'm going to make you come back to that. So
yeah, let me think about it.
That is a pin in that one. So your style is called Unfallen Dragon, and it's a metal style. So what do we see? I mean, what does that mean in terms of your movements and how we see you fight, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's mostly about like ripostes. So it's a very it's slow, really, I think, and I think it's based a lot on reactions, right? So it's a lot of like waiting for the enemy to come at me and then using their movements or whatever against them.
Okay, so that the sort of precise calculation, you wait for your moment, and you've certainly got the defending move that fits with that, absolutely. Okay. What's your father's name?
Oh yeah, my father's name. Let me go to the name sheets. I think my father's name is Bao.
Bao. Okay, that's perfect. That's a good, solid, easy to remember name. So your late father Bao was.
Well,
That's the same name I picked for my
No,
character.
sorry. I didn't look. Let me pick something else. I'll look at people's names first, just in case. Okay.
Due diligence.
Yeah, sorry. Let's do Wei.
Okay.
Another easy name.
Okay. So he was head of one of the houses in the Purity Sword sect. He's passed away, and you've taken up that mantle. Okay. All right. We'll come back to you when we come to do entanglements. Maria, please tell us about your character.
so Steelwing Ruogang is small, has a unassuming, has a gentle face, unflinching gaze. She's a noble from a faraway land. She's the outsider, and wander over to seek refuge from her many enemies. Her moves are Wanderer, a deadly secret, and half-sword will travel. Her style is One Soul Legion, which uses a spear and also uses metal as the G.
What kind of spear do you imagine? A small light spear? Do you imagine a more fancy heavy spear? Trident?
Fancy
What do you
heavy
imagine?
spear.
Okay, so big, solid, heavy spear. Like people look at it and don't imagine you can actually lift it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and with a spear and that metal, what do you think that looks like?
I think it's less about repulse like Unfallen Dragon and more about getting the one hit in.
Waiting and holding and then striking with the precise spot.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've traveled quite a bit around, so you have learned, and you're focused on that kind of movement. You know the land. So do you imagine that you say a faraway kingdom? One of sort of the classic things in the wuxia novels is we've got the set of factions and their families and the little kingdoms and stuff, but there is an emperor off somewhere who's kind of distant. But then there are the rival barbarian kingdoms at the margins. Do you imagine you just come from another faraway section, or are you here like you originally came from one of the threatening barbarian peoples and you've come to live here?
I can work with either, depending on what faction I pick. It should be, or what factions I'm allowed to pick.
Sure. Well, I mean, we can wait to have you figure out your faction during the entanglement phase. You can kind of hold off on that. But I am going to come back and ask you again about where you're from when we get to that section.
Are we allowed to pick unrighteous or unorthodox factions to be our faction, or do we have to?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I'm gonna pick Holy Society.
Okay. So is that who you've kind of fled from, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So Holy Society, maybe a little bit further out. Do you think they're actually evil, or are they just misunderstood? Or is it kind of a mix? How do you imagine them? Why are they considered maybe less savory?
Because they're outsiders, I think.
Okay.
Because they don't follow the rules of the Wulin, so they're like not trusted because of that.
Okay. Yeah. So usually the Wulin side, all the factions and things work together, and they're even sort of maybe the bad ones, but your clan has stayed outside that structure. All right. Excellent. Thank you. I will come back to you when we do entanglements. Matthias, please tell me about your character. Everybody has changed their names like 5 times on these things. I've had to scratch it out on my little scratch sheet here. So let me cross out Leaping Grasshopper.
Yeah, that's actually the fighting style.
Okay. I see you did that. So Matthias, tell us about your character.
Yeah, so I'm playing Bao, the Bravo, and him. He is. I'm taking the moves Gallivant, so he's someone who's been traveling about, trying to live the good life, and getting into as many romantic entanglements as possible.
Okay.
And I'm also I picked a strong fire and water association from going with those cheese they're called, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you have an unusual weapon there. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So and that touches upon the Leaping Grasshopper style. It's he uses a short bow, and he uses it at short range often and mostly. So like he's been known to notching an arrow and firing it to split an already oncoming arrow that was aimed at him, right? So the style is often like he doesn't like really reach for his quiver or anything. He already has like 3 arrows in his hand while having one notched. Yeah,
absolutely. And the water style means you're kind of like you're aware of the battlefield, but you're also moving flexibly around with that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of leaping, shooting from the hip. It's not the close one eye and aim style. It's with both eyes open from the hip and a quick motion. Yeah.
Do you think that he also? I mean, does he use then the bow itself to parry from time to time, or is he concentrating on staying out of people's range?
No, it's actually a very flowing style where he uses the bow or the arrow in hand and right, like rolls over people's back, shoots another one, oncoming one, then leg sweeps the one he just rolled over. That kind of thing, flowing in and out of people's actual ranges. Like he uses this as the style is kind of if you have one weapon, you're often locked into, well, that's your ideal range, and he's like very flexible in that.
And how does he bear himself? I mean, you've taken the Gallivant. Do people perceive you as a happy-go-lucky drinker? How is that?
Yeah, very much so. Like he's often wearing like bright silky green robes, and I was thinking, yeah, he's got warm eyes and like a twinkle to them,
Okay.
and likes engaging that way. The other move that I wanted to take was, I haven't copied it over yet, but is come drink with me.
Mhm.
And probably it takes a thief, so he always manages to slip away once he's caused too much trouble.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Well, that gives me stuff to work with. We'll come back to you when we do entanglements. And last but not least, let us hear about Jin.
Yes. So Jean used to be just the daughter of a noble family, very unassuming, quiet, reserved, didn't get along much with people. She used to be like alone in the with running around with animals and that kind of stuff. Until one day, her house was attacked by some rebel faction, and instead of hiding with everyone else who wasn't trained to in fight, she launched into battle and almost single-handedly defeated their enemies. But in the process, her attacks were so powerful, and she was like throwing people around, all kind of stuff. She kind of destroyed the half of the house herself, and probably did more damage that otherwise would have been done. So yeah, she ran away in shame out of her house, and has been wandering since then.
And when you say improvise, what do you imagine that is? Is it barehanded, or is it just things that she picks up? How do you imagine that? Does she make things into weapons?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, she used a lot of fists and kicks, but also like takes, like, for example, in that battle she picked up an umbrella, one of those wood umbrellas. I used it to fight and hit people and as a shield, all kinds of stuff. So that kind of stuff.
And how did your family react when you saved them, but then destroyed part of the house? What was their reaction to that?
I think they weren't particularly happy about it. I think maybe I come from a very strict family, and they wanted like people who are properly trained and disciplined, and I was the opposite of that.
So maybe you come from another branch of the Purity Sword Sect, the same one as
yeah, possibly, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Awesome. All right, that gives me enough to work with. But now we're going to do the entanglements. And I did see that you have the everlasting chivalry, and of course the I can break anything move, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is, if you'll look on CC3 with the entanglements, an entanglement is a triangular relationship. It means you have a relationship with another person, but then there's a third person that complicates it. And these are kind of important. They roll into the inner conflict moves, which can trigger and give you XP. I have curated a set of choices for each of the playbooks, but if you don't like any of those, you can look off to the right, and I've got the full list over there. You're going to choose 2 entanglements, 1 romantic and 1 general. And I ask that within those sort of 4 name slots, you include at least 1 PC in those relationships. So I am going to follow that same order, Darren, and ask you, which do you want to do first, your general or your romantic?
Man, let's do general because
Okay.
yeah, I think the romantic will be more interesting when other people are entangled first.
Sure. What do you want for your general? And again, we have the name list. You can make up NPCs or include PCs, offer to them.
I want to include a PC. I think I'm going to do, I swore to blank that I would protect blank, but they would be offended if they knew.
Okay.
So who would be offended if they knew I swore to protect you? Does anyone want to take it?
It seems like if Jin's from your family,
Yeah.
does that seem like a good idea?
Into it.
Who would you have sworn that to?
I've sworn that to.
Like one of Jin's siblings, one of your clan fellows, maybe one of your siblings that loves Jin. What do you think?
Oh, those are all good. I like maybe one of Jin's siblings.
Okay.
That.
Like a brother or a sister?
Do you have any hard feelings about it, Angel?
I think my big sister, who is like the heir to the clan or to the family or whatever. She's the good daughter. She's correct. She's very orthodox. She goes back the book, knows all the positions of all of that. But she does worry about me. She thinks I'm a loose cannon and I need help and all that.
Excellent. Let's give that big sister a name then, Darren.
How about Lushan? Lushan.
Okay.
Cool.
Excellent. Thank you. We'll come back to you and get your romantic here in just a moment. Maria, which do you want to start with, your general or your romantic?
General. I took part in a crime against Blank, my friend Blank's sibling. I want to pick my friend for Snow.
Okay.
Oh.
For Snow, who is your sibling?
Yeah, I think I have. I think I have. I want it to be a younger. I want it to be a younger sister.
Okay.
Her name will be Ping.
Ping? Okay.
Yeah.
Where's right, Ping. Okay.
That sounds like a good, cute little sister name.
Yeah. So you took part in a crime against Ping, your friend First Snow's sibling. What kind of crime?
I think I had to run away from her fiance, so I killed him.
Oh, so you killed
Ping's fiance or lover or
yeah.
Lord, I'll say that was an arranged marriage.
Yes.
Yeah, that I think it was an arranged marriage, but I had to kill him to run away from him because he was trying to kill me.
He was pursuing you, and he died, and then eventually you met First Snow and became friends, and it was only after that you learned of this. I assume this is a secret you have not shared, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. Poor Ping. All right. All right. Matthias, let's come to Bao. Do you want to do your general one first or your romantic?
I want to do the romantic one first.
Okay.
And I want to hear if that's all right. I think I want to pick my friend First Snow and I vie for the attention of Jin, despite her indifference to both of us.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Okay.
First Snow is already protecting Jin,
Yeah.
without appearing, probably trying to appear that she's doing so.
So this is interesting. It's an all PC triangle.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How,
That's
how
fair.
did you why did you become infatuated with me? Like, I'm pretty unassuming. I'm trying to always hide my abilities.
Yeah, because probably because I saw First Snow taking interest in you, and we're like kind of, our friendship is kind of, we're so different, I think. But I think that's like there's this, we're drawn into a friendship because of our differences to each other, and it's a lot about, oh, if you're interested in her, then I'll try to get her attention as well, and that's at least how it started, right?
I like that. I like that. This is a good shiftable one. Excellent. All right, we'll come back to you for your general. Jin, do you want to do your general or your romantic?
I think general.
Okay.
I think going to say my master. I need a name. Let me get a name.
Sure.
My master, the many-tempered Xiao Hu. Yeah, where's the rest? Untakeables. My master, the many-tempered Xiao Hu, has secretly trained me as part of a revenge plot against my friend. I guess my friend Bao.
Ooh.
So yeah, there's conflicted interest in here. This is why I don't kind of reciprocate his feelings, because I'm supposed to take revenge against him.
So, do you think that this training that you received from Many Temper Xiaohu, is that what has allowed you to do this, or to be this way, or is this something that has happened after you've discovered these innate talents?
I think it was after, like this.
Okay.
My master found me and saw the raw, untamed power or whatever in me, and decided to train me for his devious purposes.
Oh, I absolutely. I will help you harness these energies. I have nothing but your interest at heart. Absolutely.
Yep.
Does this with the hands afterwards. Okay. All right. That sounds great. I like that. Let's come back to First Snow. You're romantic.
Yes.
Let's see if you're going to be drawn in two directions or what.
Man.
I do love that one. The one I can't decide between X and Y.
Oh man. Gosh, let me look at it.
Sure, I'm going to give you a sec because I got to start graphing this. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And there's the medevac chamber. Okay, so first.
Let me see. Go.
This is great. I kind of just want to talk about these families for 3
Yes.
hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go rogue and pull off the general list.
Okay.
I think I want to do. I love blank, but they are engaged to blank, who I respect. And I want to say I love Jin, but they're engaged to somebody. That's okay with you, Joel.
Am I? Yeah, sure. I mean, of course, when I left the clan, like before I left the clan, my clan, I was engaged with someone because as far as everyone thought, I was just supposed to be like a lady of the court, very quiet, never like bother anyone, and then I destroyed half the castle. Like, but yeah. So what's the name of my my engaged lover?
No, maybe it could be something. I still think you're engaged, but now that you've like fled and left, that's called off, and I just don't know it yet. I'm okay with that too.
We'll find out. Give us a name for your for her fiance, another fiance who might get killed, who you respect.
Maybe you were engaged to. Sedate Rao.
Sedate Rao.
Sedate Rao.
Classic name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you write that for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Do you mention that Rao is part of your Purity Sword sect, or is Rao from another family?
Oh.
I think he will be part of another family. Like he's one of those political unions, engagements.
So sure, which one?
Good question.
Maybe it was. I don't know. They're all good.
I guess I guess my family will not mingle with any of the other factions that wasn't righteous, I guess. Probably.
Okay.
So. The Ox Pilgrim Scorpio.
Okay.
Okay for you?
That sounds great.
Classic good guys. All right. Steel Wing, let's come back to you, and let's have you give us your romantic.
I am wed to Ageless Sin, but I know they actually pine for Bao.
Do you love Ageless Sin?
I think it's more respect, but we're wed. Then.
And you've run away from your family, so you've run away from your husband then.
Yeah, he's also part of the Holy Society, I think.
Okay. I imagine that he's been sent to hunt you down. That's going to be a tragedy right there. All right. So your husband, you've fled from your family, from your husband, from your clan, but your husband, is infatuated, loves Bao, who's very different than you. All right. Thank you. Let's come back to General. Bao, what's your general one?
So here's a question for Maria, right? You're associated with the Holy Society?
Yes.
Kind of an outsider clan outside the standard Wulin structures.
So I could still know of the shady dealings because the Holy Society is super shady. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking, maybe they are in some manner or form a local authority, because that's...
Yeah, I think I am pretty high up in Holy Society, but not. But it would be less local, I guess. Authority, yes, but not
Sure.
super local.
So
More
essentially, she's kind of
narrow.
pushing on you. She's got some blackmail on you a little bit, right?
Yeah. Local authorities, Steelwing, Rogang, hints they know of my shady dealings against my mentor, Shinya, I think, right?
Okay.
And their family. And my shady dealings against my mentor is basically I'm financing my lifestyle through some kind of letter of credit or something. So I'm like accruing debt for my mentor and his family.
He has no idea you've built up all these things. You've used his name to open doors and get you drinks and so on. Okay. And he will be severely disappointed when he finds out. Yes. And that's awesome. And last but not least, let's come to your romantic then, Jin.
Yep. So I am engaged to sedate Rao, but have fallen in love with their sibling, Shinjui, to be specific, his sister.
Ah, okay.
They're both NPCs. Is that still okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
As long as you've got at least one NPC amongst your 4 slots, we are good.
Or one PC, rather.
One PC,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Sister. Okay. All right. So just to show you, this is what that looks like, graphed out on a page here. So here's what we're going to do. The last thing you'll need to do is everybody gets 2 bonds. You get 1 bond with one of your fellow PCs. You can choose who you think that is. And then 1 bond with a faction that you're associated with or against. I think most of us have some connection in that way. Bonds are a mechanic. You can spend a bond to give yourself a +1 after you make a roll. Essentially, it's not that you're burning the bond and destroying the relationship. It's that you're calling on the strength or the energy that relationship gives you. The other way that you create bonds during play is the comfort and support action, that move. That's also the way that you can clear chi for other people. So that's kind of you can do stuff in between scenes, do a scene by yourself to kind of heal, but usually it's other PCs helping you to get better. All right. So we are now going to take a 10-minute break. We'll come back at 10 after, because I got to look at this, and then we'll get rolling into initial scenes. All right. All right.
Maria?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about ageless sin?
So, let me wait until everyone gets here. But I think ageless sin is kind of one of the very higher up in Holy Society.
Oh, how convenient.
Oh yeah, I think Lowell heard that, right? Very cool. Apparently you attracted the attention of one of the big honchos of Holy Society, who is totally unrighteous.
All right, here. The link to the roller is in the middle of the basic moves tab. Just to tell you where that's at. Let me take a big slug of this coffee. So there is cause for celebration and excitement throughout the Wulin world. It is a joyous time, of course, when we can see two heroes of the Wulin world wed. And so we are coming on the day of Jin's wedding. That is coming up, and despite the damage and destruction of their house, the wedding is still going on. There have been some rumors about Jin, but you know, certainly the security sword detective tried to maybe keep that down a little from the Ox Pilgrim Escort Bureau. But there's excitement. Sedate Rao is a notable hero, a figure of justice, an honorable man within the Ox Pilgrim Escort Bureau. And so that kind of brings us to our present situation here. I'm going to frame you in on this scene sort of a little bit at a time here. And I'm going to start with Jin. So Jin, how was it that you snuck out of the house to this lovely inn/tavern to see Xinhua, to see her play? She's a musician. She plays the biwa beautifully. She's well admired, and she is performing here, and you've caught wind of it. So how did you sneak out of the house?
I mean, sneaking out of the house has become a tradition by now. This is like the 20th time I've tried to escape my wedding, and I've basically I was confined in my room once again, and this time I built a rope out the sheets of my bed and jumped down the window.
Yes, they tried to keep you in. You know, we need to have you here. The wedding is important. You know, your sister came to speak with you about that, and Lushan was adamant that it is so important. It is so important to the honor of our household. So much hangs on this connection, on this relationship. Just and doesn't say more, but that's the last thing you remember. And you would have arrived at this tavern. Do you suppose you're good at disguises or bad at disguises?
I think I'm good at disguises, at least to make me look unassuming and one of the peasants. I would not be able to dress like a man or something very different from me, but I have some peasant clothes and I put them on and no one can tell who I am.
Yeah, so you have come in and settled in amongst what we'll call the cheap seats here. You know, the more wealthy people are kind of maybe up closer by the stage and so on. But she's beautiful. She's striking. She plays and she sings. and there is something unearthly about her. So I'm going to cut from that to, I think we see Bao and First Snow on the road. And I think that the two of you have maybe didn't tell each other, but we're heading to the wedding, not sure what you were going to do there. But of course, then you like parted from each other, headed to different directions, and then came back and ran into each other on the road. Now, we know why you have to go there. Of course, First Snow, is that the rest of your family is traveling to visit the wedding. They are going there. Your sister Ping is, to be one of the bridesmaids. She doesn't like to do it because it's a reminder of the death of her fiance. But she has struggled through to do that. And so the two of you are on the road. Do you think that you two Wulin heroes, as you travel to the town, does one of you breach the subject of Jin first, or do you both avoid it?
I'm sure it's like a silent competition, right? The first one who dares to say her name loses. In this invisible tally we're keeping.
Yeah, and I think the way this goes is, for example, on the side of the road, I see a flower and I pick a flower, and I'm picking the flower that's like traditionally used as decorations for weddings, right? And I name the flower and give it a good smell. And I'm like, it is the season, isn't it? And
yes. Ping left this morning smelling of this perfume.
Oh. Did she know?
And there's more awkward silence for a time there.
Like the picking of like the petals slowly.
Like swatting them away because they're flying in my face.
Yes. And neither of you wishes to speak of it, but this does weigh on you. Certainly, First Snow, it maybe weighs more on you because you really do, love Jin. And Bao, there's an infatuation there. There's something, but there's also watching First Snow kind of twist in the wind as you throw the flower petals out. But you two will arrive at the town, and you will find yourselves stopping at an inn to come in. And when you come in to perhaps brace yourself with some wine before you head into the household of this family of Purity Sword Sect. First Snow, you will certainly recognize your good friend Sedate Rao's sister, who is seated up there playing music on stage.
Well, I suppose I'll have to sit, right? Out of respect for the family and her craft.
So First Snow certainly takes a seat.
Yeah. Did you give me at least a basic introduction who we're watching playing up there?
Yeah, maybe as we entered the tavern, there was that awkward silence, and I heard the plucking of the strings. I probably put a hand on your shoulder and bow. We have a rare treat here. Let us put the weary travels behind us, and just enjoy this for a moment. And then this is today, Ross. Blah, blah, blah.
And you two sit, and we see you sit, and then the camera kind of focuses between you, and we can see in the across the room, we can see Jin is there and has seen you come in, And
You can see, yeah, you can see me opening my eyes a lot, like, oh.
Yeah, they see you here. You don't know if they're going to turn you in or not. No idea. Which brings us to the fourth member of our esteemed group here. Steel Wing, you have heard that Holy Society has nefarious plans and that they are going to be doing something at the upcoming wedding of Jin and Sedate Rao. They don't want the unification. They don't want the bond between those two clans. And you know Jin, and you probably have a sense of some of your other friends' feelings for Jin. So you have come here to see what you can do. Does that seem right?
Yeah, that seems right.
And you've traveled, and you arrive in this town, and you have a move that triggers, I think, right away when you arrive in town.
Oh yeah, I get to roll things.
Yeah.
Do I add a stat?
You always add a stat.
Or chi?
And chi, you get to choose what chi. The only time it's set is the duel and a little bit with the inner conflict.
All right. For a community, I'm not sure what to roll in the case of like I just got here. So
well, you've been here before. How did you think you presented yourself? What would be the aspect of that, or how do you present yourself when you go to a town?
So for this one, I think I'll be Wood because I'm curious of what's going on.
Yeah, I like that. I like that very much. So let's have you go ahead and roll with Wood.
Click button. That is Snake Eyes.
That is Snake Eyes. So here's the thing is there are people here in town, guards, things that have chased you before. Like there's some knowledge of you being part of Holy Society, right? And you are certainly amongst the town folk, amongst the watch and so on, you are not welcome. So how have you disguised yourself?
I think I have typical like veil on my face and less noble clothes.
Okay. And you've arrived, you kind of have to keep a low profile here. And you realize that you probably need to get, off the streets to kind of plan how you wish to do this. And you will see some people that you know. And you are well acquainted with the different societies, with the different factions that are out there. And you will see a group of people from the 100 Ghosts. The 100 Ghosts are an unorthodox faction. They are mercenaries. They are for hire. And you can see a group of them. They're clearly a group that are kind of waiting outside this inn, and a pair that you'll recognize as Thorn and Blossom. They're twins, and they are heading in. And it looks to you like certainly they are here to cause a problem. They are here to create an issue. So what would you do, Steel Wing?
I think I'll wait for the issue to be known so that it doesn't look like I'm causing the issue.
Okay.
And then I'll strike.
Okay. So moving yourself, are you staying out here to watch the ones outside, or are you going to move inside to see what's happening there?
I'll stay outside.
Okay. Yeah. You certainly. If something happens, they have to fall back here, and we've got this group of mooks that are there. so you position yourself. So Bow and First Snow, drinks are brought for you even before you order. The waiter comes over and sets them down and says, honored Wulin gentlemen, here are complimentary drinks on the house, he says suspiciously. So please drink up, and he kind of pushes it towards you, especially Bow.
Yeah, I nod appreciatively.
Absolutely.
And, take the drink and turn to First Snow and give her a wry smile and take a good swig of it.
Absolutely. So mark XP.
Bye, Bow.
Okay.
As you slug this back here, it has a little odd aftertaste to you here, and I think I want you to mark one of your chi. And First Snow, your friend has raised a toast to you.
I'm gonna take a moment and try and inspect this glass of mysterious alcohol and take a pause to reflect on why we just got free alcohol.
Let us have you roll a study.
Yeah, maybe look at Bow and see the indigestion start to kick in.
More of a kind of like it seems maybe getting a little drunk very fast.
Okay. Yeah, this is caution. Maybe this is Earth, I think.
Okay.
Focus, presence. Yeah, I'm gonna do Earth +1. 2d6. Oh, okay. Oh, Lord, I got a 3. Snake eyes also.
So I think that you are still kind of tied up in knots about Sedate Rao. His sister is here, and your friend has drunk, so it must be safe. And so you will slug back the drink, and you will also mark a chi. And the good news is you get to mark experience.
True. Is this? There's no experience on misses, right?
We are doing that for the one shot. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so do I get to mark experience as well?
Yes, you do. For the one shot, you're going to mark experience on a miss, and also you're going to mark an extra experience anytime you have to roll inner conflict. So there's that. So let me cut over to Jin. Okay. You've seen those people that you know, and you're a little nervous, and you see them. This waiter bring over the tray and bring some drinks, and you will see him go away, move away from them, and maybe signal to someone else in a very got him kind of way. Even as you see another couple of people that bear themselves like strong Wulin warriors come in, but don't come and sit. Instead, kind of position themselves by the doors.
So, God damn it! I'm going to. I expect something to go down soon.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to stay around and suspiciously. And when I see someone like go to attack them or do something to them, I'm going to like make them trip over my feet or like throw something at them by accident. Basically, thwart their plans without anyone realizing I'm doing it, because I don't want to be seen.
Absolutely. So I think right now, is it that your intent is to kind of study the scene, or do you want to hold yourself to kind of uh, uh, interact when they perhaps do something?
I think I'm analyzing the scene. Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to roll for study?
It could be water. It could be earth. I guess in this case, like being aware of my surroundings and all
Sure.
that, I could do water.
Absolutely. Let's have you roll with your water.
Okay. That's a 10.
That is a 10. So this is a study move. So you get from the study move, you get 2 hold. You can use that to ask a question about the situation. You can ask a question about a person. You've played PbtA, so you know the typical questions, but we leave those open-ended. You can learn a person's scale, meaning are they on your level or are they more powerful? Or you can also reveal a significant detail about the scene, like a plot-changing thing.
So I get 2 hold.
2 hold.
I think I'm going to spend 1 right now to figure out who is planning this whole operation.
So you will definitely be able to see that amongst sort of the wait staff that are there, including the one that just served those drinks. There are a number of mooks. They're doing that thing where they're kind of getting the blades out, not particularly subtly, and putting them under cloths and moving over towards the table where First Snow and Bow are at. And definitely those 2 figures at the doorway are there to prevent escape and are supervising this mission. Does that seem like fair info?
Yep.
Okay. Do you want to hold keep the rest of the hold?
Yeah, for now, yeah.
Okay. And it would be just 1, Darren. I gave Matthias 1 for being willing to take the drink without rolling. So
okay.
I gave you 1 for the miss.
Okay, got
it. So let me come back. Let me deal with First Snow and Bow again, and then I'm going to cut back out to Steel Wing. So you're feeling pretty good, feeling pretty invincible, Bow. So you say you want to get up and at the intermission go and introduce yourself.
Yeah, to have a like. I think when that happens, I connect to our earlier conversation. I say, First Snow, you're truly right. This is magnificent. Come, let's meet her. And I get up, sway a little bit, catching myself on your shoulder, and give you a tug. I don't know if you're following me, but I'm like, let's introduce ourselves, right?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of just dragged along, supporting you, supporting me as we're stumbling.
Yeah, you 2 are stumbling forward. During the break, Jin, you will see them kind of drunkenly get up and clearly going to accost Xinhua there, and the Xinhua knows First Snow, and so she will say, First Snow. She looks. She can see your cheeks are a little red, and she's maybe taken a little bit aback.
So why? This is Bow. You had really great today.
Thank you.
Such a lovely surprise at the end of a day's travel, I've got to say. Can I invite you for a small drink to soften your throat for your second act.
And she see her kind of like, because you are a little bit drunk. I mean, do you want to lean into it? Do you want to try and convince her to come over to your table?
Yeah, because I want to go for my come drink with me move.
Okay.
If I manage.
Oh yeah, that's not even. I don't think you even have to roll for that one. She will be taken by your sparkling eyes. You see her charmed and entranced by your slight drunkenness, and she definitely stands up and comes over. And Jin, you will see Xinhua get put into the danger zone because these mooks kind of hesitate and look at the two at the door, and the ones at the door still go. As the three of them start moving towards the table.
And that's when I start moving as well.
Okay. Steel Wing, you see the mooks actually spread out and get themselves sort of in a distributed ambush position. Like clearly, Steel Wing, something is about to happen in there.
So I have a question.
Sure.
Thorn and Blossom, do I know their scale?
No, you don't.
All right.
Because you have to do a study for that.
I guess I is it okay if I had studied them during this scene?
Sure. Let's roll back and have you do that study move.
All right. And that is 6 plus. Oh wait, I needed to declare my stat. All right. Let me re-roll then. In that case.
Yeah.
I think water.
Okay, that seems fair.
That is an 8.
It's an 8, so you have one hold. What do you want to know?
Learn their scale, or at least one of their scales.
Individually, in a one-on-one fight, they are your scale. If they fight together side by side, if they're not separated, they are definitely above your scale.
Okay.
Okay.
So I will move against the mooks then.
Okay. So we're gonna have you. You are moving to fight the mooks. Jin, you are getting up.
Yep.
To kind of move over, and it's at that point that these assassins are going to move on to attack poor Bao and First Snow. So because you had that study move, that hold, I will let you declare something before I make them make overcome rolls here.
Mm-hmm. So, well, first of all, could I spend my... Well, not yet. I think these mooks don't... I definitely below my level.
Okay.
So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take... in the meantime, while all of this was happening, I've disguised myself as one of the people attending this place.
Yeah.
I've taken a tray with a few cups of hot tea.
Okay.
And as they are moving towards them, I'm just going to pretend to trip over them and like throw hot tea at them.
So we see outside, we see Steel Wing engaging with the mooks. We see you move over and engage to pull them off from this. And I think that will definitely wake Thorn and Blossom up, and as well as First Snow about, and you two will realize that you are in a dangerous situation as you will see this pair of Wulin warriors come at you. They rush you. Bao, what would you do?
I think immediately jump up onto the table to get the height advantage.
Okay.
And because I was completely oblivious and suddenly being attacked, this is I'm gonna try to basically not be hit or weasel my way out before I don't know
Absolutely.
what's going on.
So you'll flip up to the table when this breaks out. And what about you first, Snow? Oh, you were drunk in public.
It's a very embarrassing situation because I imagine the gig is up for everybody. So I think spotting Jin stumbling and tripping on the other side.
Do we spot Jin? Because I think
Jin can decide whether you spot guys' work.
I've been trying to go unseen. I think if I fail a roll or something, my disguise.
That seems like a good cost. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm super embarrassed, and there's two. Like it's one-on-one.
Well, no, the two look like they are going to, as a pair, head for Bao. As soon as he breaks off, they're turning that way, like they want together to destroy him.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think I'll just move to protect them, right? I think that's in my nature to just take up a defensive stance of anybody, no matter how capable they are.
Absolutely. So we're going to resolve the two mooks. And then we're going to resolve Bao versus the superior foe, which I think will probably trigger your defend move.
Yeah.
Okay. So Steel Wing, tell me, these mooks are prepared. What do we see on screen as this conflict first breaks out?
I think the mooks outside were waiting for people to get out and attack them, right?
Yep.
All right. I think I just jump on them with the spear and start stabbing people with the spear and fluid motions.
All right. So you're from Holy Society. You're pretty brutal. There's no just knocking them down. We're gonna deal with the situation. Let's have you roll with metal. You are fighting mooks.
All right, that's a 9.
That is a 9. So yes, you don't look tremendously amazing, but yeah, we see you do this. And what's the coolest way you dispatch one of these mooks?
I think I just swing my staff, and the one behind me, it gets typical, like the one behind me gets hit by me swinging a staff at someone else.
Yeah, you bring it, kind of catch one of them, and the second one is hit by your back, and so we can see them fly in the different directions as you spin around there. And of course, there's chaos out in the streets now. We've made a little bit of noise, which may not be great if the watch comes, because you are not welcome here. But we will come back to that in just a moment. So let's come to Jin. Jin, you've got this tray, and you move over, and this sort of sets this off in here. So let's have you roll fight mooks. And the good news is you get to roll 3 dice.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
So because I'm using my my style, right?
Yeah.
So I have to use water for my style, I imagine.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool. So yeah, okay, let's roll on
the bad news, of course, is if you don't roll a 10+, then you start doing some collateral damage in here.
Oh, that's not bad news. That's also news.
Okay.
So I think that's I should have cleaned the previous roll, but I think it's 7 + 2, 9.
9. So tell me what the coolest way is you dispatch these mooks.
So yeah, like they are like all fight to death style, looking at Bao, and I just casually approach them, pretend to trip over my own feet, and then like throw boiling hot tea at one of them in the face. And as he's distracted, I take the tray and spin around with it, with the tray in my hand, and use it to knock him out from like take it from his feet, like just making him lose his balance, and then go for the kill with the tray in his face as he falls to the ground.
And you will definitely do that and knock things around. And while you won't, I think the obvious cost here is, while you won't like destroy the building, I think your disguise like tears and as you flex your chi, it kind of tears off of you, and you are revealed in your full glory. there with your standard outfit that we will recognize from the movie.
In that case, since I've done such a cool move and an awesome reveal, could I roll to impress Shunji?
That's interesting. Let's resolve that one after.
Detail. I don't know how you feel about this, Darren, but is this the moment where we both at the same time go, Jin?
I mean, absolutely.
You absolutely both catch a glance of that, and at the end we'll do the hearts and minds on her to do that. So let's come. Bao, you're shocked. You see Jin, and then these two figures move to engage you. They pull out those wind and fire wheels, the big metal circles there, and they clearly move in sync with one another as they come at you. And so we start with you. Together, when they are teamed up like this, they are a superior foe to you. So your foe is above your scale.
Yeah.
So you're going to lose, but on a hit, you get to tell me how you lose.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll with your style element.
Oh, I didn't choose one.
Well, what is your style? Oh, yeah, you didn't choose your style element?
Oh no, it's water. Yeah.
Okay, so roll with water.
Well, then it's actually a 10.
So you get to tell me how you lose. You don't mark chi. What is it that they do?
I think it's I'm trying to avoid them. I'm like bouncing, jumping from table to table, but as everyone of the normal guests are like trying to flee, but they cut off my escape route basically, and one after another they're like wrecking each table. So
absolutely, yeah. And as you're realizing that they're cutting that off, and they're coming in at you like they're going to finish you. That's the point at which hopefully first snow is going to change the situation.
As I'm standing like on the last table, on either side, no place to go anymore.
I like that maybe you're hopping around like a circle and now you've like reached me back. Okay, so just roll with however I'm feeling.
Yeah, what do you want to roll with?
I'm gonna do metal.
Okay.
Try that with my style element.
Wait, what is she doing?
She has Legend of the Mountain.
I'm just gonna try and protect Bao.
Oh, protect. Yes.
I'll do my best. Okay, let's do it right. Okay. Were you able? Oh my god, I got a 7, barely.
Okay. So what is it that you want to have happen? Do you want to take control? Do you want to shift someone's location? Do you want to gain a bond with Bao? You do keep them safe.
Let's change the location.
Okay. Of the fight in general, or are you pulling one of the pair away from the other? What do you imagine?
Ooh, that's interesting. Bao, would you want to do a one-on-one fight? Do we feel like that's achievable? More than a 2-on-1?
To separate them?
Yeah.
Okay. So you will pull this one away from Bao and kind of get him cleared, and they're shocked by you sort of interposing yourself. What is it you do that separates them?
I think when Bao leaps on that last table, I think the way they move, it just gives me an opening to like physically get between them. And I think that for
maybe
Snow,
you jumping on the one table edge makes the table flip.
Yeah.
Which gives me enough leverage to volley over one of them.
That's really good. I like that. So I'll jump on the corner of the table, right, and fling Bao over.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to I'm like drawing my sword, and I think you get that great like sound effect where you unsheath swords. Yeah. And maybe like that's how I change the physical location. Maybe this person is like, oh, and they're like stumbling back.
Push them back to separate. However, on your roll there, you do escalate the situation. So I'm going to say that you, Jin, will see that there were some other agents in the crowd, and they grab Xinhua, thinking that maybe they can hold her as a hostage in this situation, and they're going to grab her, and the situation has gotten more dangerous there.
Oh, those bastards are going to pay.
Okay, so I'm going to come back to you, Steel Wing. You've dispatched these mooks out here, but you will hear the sound of like the local constabulary, the local guards coming to see what the matter is.
So Thorn and Blossom are still inside, so I'm going to go inside.
Okay, so you will move in and kind of get yourself so you're not seen from the street. And it's probably at that moment that you will see the separation, and Bao is about to engage Thorn, and First Snow is about to engage Blossom. And you probably see Jin darting across to protect Xinhua.
I think I would imagine that Bao and First Snow are on similar scales together than separate.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm not super worried about that. I'm worried about the girl that's getting kidnapped by the Hungry Ghost. So I'll also go towards that.
Okay. So Jin, tell me, what is it you do, and how well do you know Steel Wing?
Basically, every time my fiancée, I've met my fiancée, she was there, and every time I find a way to get some time with her, some excuse, like girl things or whatever. So I know her, like I know her pretty well.
So yeah, so you know Xinhua fairly well, but let me ask you a question. How well do you know Steel Wing, Maria's character?
I'm not sure. Have we
you
ever
know each other, but do you imagine that you've just acquaintances, or what do you think, Maria?
Well, I also have a disguise on, so.
Okay, so then we see this stranger move up to assist. Let's resolve you protecting her with the fight mooks, Jin, and certainly Steel Wing can assist if it's necessary, and then let's look at the duel with Thorn and Blossom. So let's have you roll fight mooks there, cool. Jin. Roll with your style element. You get to roll 3d6 and take the 2 highest.
Nice. So yeah. I said 14 or something like that.
So what is it that is off the charts here? What is it that you do that is spectacular, and maybe even Steel Wing, you're like, whoa, when you see that?
Basically is that I move like almost like there's no friction, like I'm barely touching the floor. I just move between them in the matter of second, and before they can react, I do this. I grab them both, and using their own weight as counterweight, I throw them around like broken dolls. They go like flying into the distance at the same time.
It is spectacular, and certainly Xinhua is stunned by this display and realizes that it's you, Jin, and comes that, and Steel Wing, do you move to acknowledge this, or do you still hang back now that you've seen this?
Okay, that's resolved, so I'll hang out back.
Okay, you're like, whoa, okay.
There's some personal stuff going on here.
Yeah. Bao, your friend First Snow has split these deadly assassins apart. leaving you to face just one of them. So you can duel someone, and they are considered on your level, on your scale.
Yeah, and I think we see this because instead of evading, moving away, there's this change in stance and the pull of arrows, multiple ones in one hand, and the other one stopping as well, and then we're engaging into the duel.
Perfect. Then, and before they've been able to deflect because they're so coordinated, they've been able to deflect your arrows, but now there's just one of them. They won't be able to catch all of them. So roll with your style element.
That means with advantage, right?
No, you roll with just your style element.
Just style, okay. That's water, so that's that's just a 6.
That is just 6. Now here is an option that you have. You could burn one of your bonds if you wanted to give yourself a +1 on that roll. Essentially, use up the kind of the energy of that connection.
I think that makes sense because it was basically First Snow who got me, helped me out here.
Perfect. And you don't want to embarrass yourself in front of her.
Yeah, exactly. I've been on her case about this wedding in a very subtle manner the entire time, and now she needed to assist me because I'm in trouble for whatever. Who knows? Like, why am I even in trouble here?
So this foe then is your scale. You're going to win, but on a 7 to 9, you have to choose one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to choose?
Oh wow! I think when at a cost is
Sure.
would be like whose escape, for example, like they escape or
they escape.
They escape. I think that makes sense.
Okay, so you're firing those arrows, and Thorn is unable to block some of those, is taking some of those hits, and you see him kind of turn and look at his twin. We're going to figure out what happened to the twin, and then I'll tell you how he escapes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First, Snow, your friend Bao, you didn't live up to the expectations. Maybe can you do better?
It's a trained swordsman with a legendary blade. I sure hope so.
Absolutely.
Just rolling with metal. 10. It's a 12.
So, tell me what that looks like. And the question I'm going to ask you at the end is, do you show mercy, like to let them go? Because then you get to mark XP. If you don't,
right.
So what happens?
What happens? I think that they've got these like flaming wheels that they're wielding.
Yeah, they're sort of big, thin pieces of metal with sort of like pointy bits that are kind of coming off from them, wavy pointy bits.
Okay, I see. Oh man, that's just like, I think there's like we're at the door. Maybe it's something like they charge at me and I do some of those great like Chinese cinematic moments where I'm like jumping up to like the gutter and leaping off of that, and I'm able to like slice off the top part of their weapon as I'm like flying over them, and it's just like this beautiful display of martial arts and like counterattacks.
Absolutely. Do you kill them?
And I think I'm too sad on the day of Jen's wedding to murder someone.
Okay.
So I will let them go.
So we do see that thing where the two twins, after you've cut their blade apart and the other one is taking the arrows, you see them land, kind of look at each other, and then out through the front window to make their escape, to leave their mooks behind. They will come back to fight you another day. So you get to mark XP. And now at this point, Steelwing, you'll recognize, you recognize Bao, recognize First Snow, you recognize Jin. All three of you are there. And I heard that you were trying to impress.
Oh yes.
Okay. So let's have you roll with your impress, since I'm going to let you roll with that to sort of have impressed the room, including her.
And I guess I'm probably using maybe fire, because it's like I'm very on fire. I'm protecting my
absolutely passion.
Yeah. Okay, so that's 2 dices, and I add.
Well, no, with impress, with your thing, if you're going to use your martial style to do it,
I
you
had
roll 3 with the possibility of something going terribly wrong.
Oof.
Your style element is water, but it's the same number, so.
Or you could just do kind of hearts and minds and roll with 2 dice and fire.
Yeah, I think it's not as much I'm going to impress her with my amazing display of martial arts, which is there, but also with my very passion towards her that I cannot express in words, but comes through my actions.
Let's have you roll with hearts and minds with fire then.
Okay. Oh, god damn it. So that's 6.
So the good news is you get to mark XP.
Oh, nice. Great.
The bad news is they only have eyes for Bao.
Oh, god damn it.
They kind of turn, thank you, and they rush over to see if Bao is all right, because he fought them, 2 on 1 at once, and then they got separated, and she's like, "Are you all right? Are you all right, Bao?"
The things they put in drinks here, I can't believe it. And I look her over, and I'm like, I am unhurt, and you?
I am well. You must come. You and First Snow and Jin. We must go to her house so that we can get you patched up. And you must come with me.
Yes,
my brother will be happy to see you, both of you, and certainly. And she'll turn to you, First Snow, to you, Jin. Will you please?
And I look at them expectantly as well, standing next
to
her.
Like when you look at me and Xingyun is not looking at me, you see me like these eyes, this look of like murder intent, like it's kind of the Kill Bill look with the music, looking at you like.
And that is the point at which you roll inner conflict.
Ooh.
I roll the inner conflict. You get to mark XP because you're rolling it for this one shot, and you roll. What do you want to roll with? How are you controlling your emotions?
Let's see. I guess metal.
Okay.
Like I'm trying to control myself, reflect. This is not the right moment. I'll get my chance later.
Let's see it.
Yeah, I don't really trust myself. Let me clear this. Okay, so that's a 9.
That's a 9. So you have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You can hold yourself steady and mark metal, mark that chi, or you can flee the scene.
And I'm giving you like this nonchalant shrug.
Oh God. I think I think I'm going to storm out. Like, when I look at his happy-go-looking face, like, oh, what did I do? And I lose it. I like, I throw. I think I literally kick a few chairs over and like storm out, like, whatever.
And Zinwalk kind of doesn't notice because she's still so focused on Bao as you run out. What's your reaction to that first snow?
I'm probably gonna glare at Bao. I'm like,
What did I do?
Bao, it says he shouldn't be running off. We have many dangers today, and I'm gonna run after Jen.
Yeah, you'd better, because you need to protect her, right?
No. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you go chasing after her. Steel Wing, you're here. Jin and First Snow have run out, but you're here with Bao, who you know. Steel Wing, and he seems to be, a sweet talking, sedate Rao's sister. What do you think, Steel Wing?
But you're the last one here, right? Like, we're just us three. The place is cleared out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
we
also
can't
murder.
recognize you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also murderized a bunch of people outside, so I'm running.
So you're gonna take off as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Bao, you will see this figure that's been kind of standing there watching you mysteriously throughout this. They kind of look around and they will take off. You're not sure if
I
they were.
was just about to like point an arrow at them to challenge them who they are, and then they bolt off. And
Gone. Mysterious figure. She goes, "Who is that?"
And it's just the narrowing of my eyes. I don't know.
Perfect. So this ends this scene. We will come back with First Snow catching up to Jin, and we'll see what the others are doing. We're going to take our 10-minute sandwich break, as I like to call it. So we'll be back at 12:15 Eastern.
It's almost as if the plot was written this way.
Yes. I like how you signed up for the Stern so you get that extra gap week of Hearts of Wulin in.
Well, I have been wanting to play Hearts of Wulin, and all the sessions keep filling. So when there was Gauntlet Con and the quarterly, I was like, I'm signing up for everything. I'm gonna get it in.
That makes sense.
So now this is like my new thing with the SCUP. There's now all these people running SCUP, and I can't get into any of them.
I was super pleased. I will admit that I ganked that spot there.
No, that's what I did with Hearts of Wulin. The first quarterly one, I knew you were gonna post it because of you had talked about it, or there was something you like did a poll or something like that. So I was like, all right, I know this is coming. So I literally, like, as soon as that G Hangouts notification went off, I was like, I've done that. I've been there.
Yep.
I ran. Oh, sorry.
Oh no! Tell me.
I was just gonna say I ran SCUP yesterday,
Oh.
and it went super well, especially for a one shot. I might try and do like a quarterly because I had a lot of fun running it. So.
Yeah, it looks like so much fun, I like the kind of scale things.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm going to go ahead and get started. We'll roll Steelwing Maria back in when she comes back. But let's start with first Snow. You were going to chase down Jen.
Yeah, I'm going to try to.
Yeah. So Jen, you're out in the street a few blocks over. You're heartbroken. You've retreated away from this. You don't necessarily want to go home because of the wedding, but you can't go here, and you don't know. And that is when first Snow will appear. What do you say, first Snow? Tears. Great tears.
I think it's Jen, I knew I should have escorted you this whole time. It was dangerous to let you be alone on today.
I can take care of myself. I'm being alone seems to be my destiny anyway.
Yeah, I want to move in a little closer. Like, Jen, you don't have to be alone. This is my duty, but I surely we're more than that. Just protector and protected.
I know you consider me a great friend, but
and she says it in that way that you know that she means it.
Yeah.
And in that way that you can tell that she's not crying over you.
Yeah. I say it like for real. I say like I value your friendship, but today that's not what I need.
What do you need? Whatever you need, Jen. Tell me.
I look into the distance and I say something more.
I think for Snow, this is a stab to your heart.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna say let's run away together, but I'm still like, that's completely fruitless. I know that this is unrequited.
Let's have you roll inner conflict. Hey, the good news is you get to mark XP before you even roll.
Nice. Okay, I don't know why I'm looking at that. This is like fire, right? This is passion for me.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Roll your -1.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, and I got a literal 1.
So you are there, and you kind of go to say something. You're going to have to mark that fire, as that kind of hurt you there, and you will hear first snow.
Put my hand on the hilt of my blade and whip around.
And you will see
when
your sister, Lushan, and she's approaching you, and she can see that Jin is upset, and she can see that this is rather Jin's sister, Lushan.
Yeah.
She can see that she's upset, and she was going, "What have you done?"
I'll even like bow in front of her, I think, right? What a misunderstanding. Like, Lushan, I have no words. I was not there to protect Jen when she needed to be protected. This is my fault.
She looks at you with just a piercing glance, and she says, "I thought that you were the flower of Purity Sword Sect. I thought that you..." She turns away, and she will look at you, Jin, and she will say, "I have been sent to bring you home."
That's your duty as always, to keep me control. Isn't it, sister?
I would not put it quite like that, but yes.
I suppose there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Come. And she kind of holds her hand out to kind of take your shoulder, and she is going to move you back to your household.
And normally I will resist or try to escape, but right now I'm so heartbroken that I just let her take me.
Yeah.
And she will go, and she will say, "You should come with us for Snow. Your good friend Sedate Rao is at the household, and he has been asking about you."
Yay, old good friends here. Nice.
Yeah, I suppose I'll follow obediently.
Okay.
I'm standing a little too close to Jen as we walk.
And so the three of you will head back to the household. We will head back there. Of course, things are decorated in beautiful red, tapestries, banners, everything. It's all that sort of blissful celebration for the wedding that is coming up. Other people are arriving as you come back, and we're going to cut away from the shot of you two heading into the household over to Bao. And Xinhua, we should head back to the household.
And I nod and I rub my shoulder, and there's this creaking that we can hear.
Oh, are you all right?
I'm all right. Your house has hot springs, does it not?
The household does. Yes.
Um,
I'm sure if you ask Jin, she can get that arranged for you when we go there.
Oh, yes. Or would you mind taking me there?
Yes, and she will
right away?
gladly take your arm to puts in her soft hands, and she will lead you from this place.
Yeah.
And if you don't resist, she will take you back to the house, where you will see all of the various and sundry preparations going on for this wedding.
I would like to, if there is the opportunity or possibility, to maybe convince her for her to lead me directly to the springs, and that I can take a bath in front of her or in in the periphery. Yeah, but that she's led me to the warm waters that will relax my muscles.
Let's have you roll hearts and minds.
Yep. With fire.
Absolutely.
That's a 6. That's an 8.
Okay. So I think this makes sense given the present situation that she will take you inside. And there's all of this sort of chaos going on in the household. You know, they're getting things ready, and people have been running around looking for Jin, and she's only just returned. And Xinhua kind of looks around. She goes, "Oh, I know where the baths are," and there is that bit where she takes you to the room with those giant wooden tubs that are filled with hot water, and she takes you there, and she goes, I will go and get towels for you." And
yeah,
and of course she comes back with the towels just as you've
very slowly lower myself with my aching muscles into the hot water. So there's a glimpse, but then it's gone.
Yeah,
and
she turns away, embarrassed, kind of holds it. "Oh, I will put these towels here. Here. And she goes, is there anything else that you need?"
And oh my God, most gracious thanks, Sunhua. And I just leave a hand hanging over the rim tip, dripping with water, like ever so close to her, but not touching.
And she will kind of look around, perhaps realize, where she's at. So she goes, I must, and she'll head off, clearly flushed from the heat of the baths here.
As am I. This has left me unaffected.
Yes. So I think that between the baths and this scene, I think that you can clear your metal condition.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. So Jin and First Snow, you are brought, and you will see handsome, square-jawed, good looking, strong, forceful personality, sedate Rao will approach, and he is always just a little bit deferring to Jin, he's like, Jin, it is very good to see that you are all right. I was informed that you had business in town.
Yeah. I'm okay. I'm okay. Thank you for your kind interest. I saw your sister there as well.
Oh, yes, I know Xinhua was performing. Excellent. Did you speak with her?
Barely.
Oh, well, I shall have to see where she is. If hopefully she has returned. And someone will say yes. Yes, she returned.
If you want, I could go search for her myself.
I couldn't put you out to do that.
It will be.
You have so much to prepare. You can't leave.
And your sister does go, I think you, Jin, should return to your rooms. There are a few matters regarding the wedding that need to be looked into.
All right. Okay.
And Sedate Rao says, "Well, I will seek her out. Do not worry, Jin."
Very well.
We will. Yeah, we'll see each other later. He says with that kind of distance that has informed every conversation with you.
Yeah, and I respond like, sure. Later.
Yes, absolutely. And he turns, and with a warmth he definitely didn't show to Jin, he shows to you First Snow and says, "First Snow, my good and loyal friend, how are you? Thank you for bringing my bride-to-be back to the household safely."
I think First Snow almost cringes at bride-to-be, but wow, yes, it's always good to see you. Today has just been a trialsome day. I'm sure it's been difficult for you, just cooped up in this house.
Well, I've been taking care of matters. I do enjoy I do enjoy paperwork, and so it's been a good day for that. And your family arrived earlier, and your sister Ping and the rest of your family are here. So I was greeting them. But did you come on the road alone then?
I had the unfortunate company of Bao.
Oh, the archer.
Yes, the very one. Bao seems to be in a maybe too good of spirits for this wedding, though it is a joyous occasion.
Well, let us go and find my sister, so that we can put Jin's mind at ease, shall we?
Oh, after the events of today, I'm not sure I should leave Jin's side. I would be best if I helped her in her rooms.
And he's got what she can. You can take care of things. Rowan, come with me.
Well, we can't have any more delays. I don't want your bride to be marred by ruffians who they come out of nowhere these days.
Let's have you roll hearts and minds to convince him.
What is this? This is very metal. Control, calculation, reflection.
Yes.
That's 8, 9.
9.
A success.
So I think he will kind of agree with you, and he puts his arm out, on your shoulder, and again says to you, you are my good and loyal friend. I know that you will look after my fiance, and I think you're going to get a bond with him.
Oh. Yes, Rao, I will do everything in my power to ensure Jin is happy.
Okay, so you can go off in the household to look and find Jin, who's been sent back to her room to sulk by her sister, and we're going to cut back to just get a shot there of Xinhua rushing away from the baths and passing by her brother, and he comes forward and comes up to the baths, and he will say, "Ah!" Door comes open. "Ah, Bao!"
And there's a splashing of what?
We have met before. I am Sedate Rao. I am Jin's fiancé.
Oh, how wonderful! Yes, I remember now. And I do the. Oh, I'm a little bit embarrassed, but I should be congratulated.
Please stay in the bath. Allow me. I will put some more coals under the water to heat it up for you.
Ah, yes.
And he does, and he puts the coals under the water, and he says, "My sister was here. Did you escort her back to the household?"
Yes. After the kerfuffle at the tavern, I thought it would be best to accompany her home. And then she was gracious enough to let in a bath for me.
Well, that is very good of you, he says, his eyes somewhat squinting a little there.
Yeah, and I'm kind of also studying him as
that seems perfect. Yeah. Let's have you roll study here as as sedate Rao kind of circles the bath, watching you in the heat and the steam there.
Yeah, and I think this is Earth, caution, focus, presence.
You already got drugged once today.
Yeah. That's just a 5.
So your sedate Rao is you the good news is you get to mark XP.
Yep.
The bad news is there is that moment that he put some of the more of the salt in the bath, and heat kind of comes over you and so on, and your room kind of gets a little warbly, and you kind of maybe pass out for a moment. And can I have you roll overcome?
Oh yeah, of course. Just flat or
choose what you want to roll with.
I think this got to be water. This is awareness, wisdom.
Sure, absolutely.
That's an 8.
Okay, so you come to, kind of wake up, and you realize there's water in your mouth, and you realize that you are in the bathtub, and you've obviously fallen asleep, and someone must have thought there was no one in here, because they've put the lid on the tub and sealed it. And you are sealed up in this tub, and it's hot and boiling, and it's just like barely, just the most little air thing in there. And we'll come back to you in a moment.
Yeah.
Accident. Yes. So one of the nice things that you have, Steel Wing, of course, is separating you is of no consequence, because of course you have sword will travel. So we know that that's on the table. What would you do after this incident, after this meeting, after the what happened in the tavern?
So I came here to stop the nefarious plot with the Holy Society, not the 100 Ghosts. So
that's correct. But they're mercenaries. So it does strike you that they might have been hired.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm thinking of going to the wedding to see what was going on. I know Jin wasn't there, so it's not like I'm not even sure if the wedding's still going on. So
okay. So do you think do you present yourself, or are you sneaking in? What do you think?
Oh, sneaking in. They don't want me there.
Okay. Then I think to sneak in and avoid notice or detection, I think is going to be an overcome.
All right, I'm rolling with my bad stat because reasons.
Yeah.
That is a 9.
That is a 9. So I think it will take you a bit to get in. Like, there are a lot of guards here. A lot of the exits are covered. And so we probably see you try a couple of plans to get in, and they don't work. What is the way that you do finally get in?
The roof.
Okay, that you finally wait till there is a good break where you get just a bit where the guards aren't looking, and you will leap up, and you will land and drop down into the bathhouse, essentially, since it's uncovered, and you will hear a.
Oh yeah, I will inspect that.
Okay, there's certainly banging going on from it's like clearly one of these giant tubs. Someone has accidentally put the lid on top of it and actually pulled the locks on there.
Accidentally pulled the locks. Okay,
yeah.
I am going to break the locks with with something, I don't know, my big spear.
Okay, I think we're going to have you do an overcome to do. No, we don't even need a roll for that. Tell me what that looks like.
All right, I was worried for a sec that I would need to roll to save bow. Okay. Rip bow. But yeah, no, I think I just, with the back of the spear, I just precisely hit the lock and it breaks.
Shatters. Bow, you're in there grabbing for the air. You don't have your bow with you. You're kind of trying to push off, and then you'll kind of banging against that, and then you'll hear a crack. And as you push the lid, you'll throw the lid off of here.
Yeah. I'm like,
and a very naked and very reddened Bow will pop up out of the water.
I am startled AF. What happened?
I kind of like jump or half fall over the side to get out of there and onto the ground, right?
It's PG, so we see you grab the towel as you fall.
Yeah. I'm just heaving, trying to get in as much cool air as possible, and I'm staring up at you, and I'm like,
I'm still disguised. I'm still disguised, and
yeah, I'm like sitting on my butt with the towel over my lap, and I point at you. You, who are you?
I saved you. Clearly, I'm the one who saved you just now. What were you doing in there?
I was being boiled alive. So
Clearly.
who saved me?
I think I'll take off my mask, and you will see that it is Steelwing Rogang.
Not your favorite person, given that you know that she knows about some of your shady dealings.
Yeah, and why would you save me? Would you not?
Well, first of all, I didn't know who was in there. Which is actually true. Side note. Second of all, I am here on business. There is a plot going on with the Holy Society.
There's definitely a plot going on. I agree with that. I think I get up and move over to get at my clothes and put them on again.
So I'm going to cut away from you two as you redress yourself, Bow, get set. You've heard word of this Holy Society plot. Let's cut back to Jin with the sound of the door closing on your room.
Okay.
And they've put out your wedding dress. All of the decorations and things like that. The handmaids will come tomorrow to dress you in this. Tonight there is a feast, and they've laid out a dress for you to wear to that. And it's beautiful, lovely, and not what you want to be wearing.
Yeah, I'm sitting on my bed contemplating the wedding dress that is spread over it, and a few tears fall from my eyes over the wedding dress.
Yeah, you will cry. They'll soak that, and let me ask you this first, Snow. When you go to check on Jin, do you knock? Do you wait?
No. I think I just walk in. Very rude.
So when you walk in, and what you see is Jin standing on the window, just about to get out, and he looks he looks at you.
Jin, wait.
Why won't you
pack a bag?
Are you going to ruin this for me as well? At this point, I'm just blaming you blindly, like for no reason.
Absolutely.
My duty is to protect you. if you're not happy with this wedding, I suppose I can't object to that.
I get out of the window because now you're talking the talk. And I say, would you do that for me?
Sedate Rao is a good man who could care for you, but I've been by your side for so long. It would pain me too much to see you unhappy for the rest of your life.
I get close to you and I take you by your hands and I say, I will be so thankful because as much as my family wants me, say that wow, it's not the person I love.
I feel like a squeeze on your hand, and I'm like, I think I'm just, yes, I believe you. We can go far away from here. I can take you far, far away from here.
I say, yes, I must find Shinjui and talk with her.
Surely it's just better for us to flee now.
But, I mean...
We'll send a letter when we arrive at our next destination.
I, like, let your hands go and, like, step back a little. Say, First Snow, the person I love is Shinjui.
Let's see that inner conflict roll for Snow.
Oh man.
Brought face to face. You kind of knew it, but here it is said right to you.
Lord. Well, anything
that you mark XP.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's water, right? In this very revealing, truly aware way.
So you are possibly about to cry, so.
Thematically, visually, aesthetically. I got an 8.
Got an 8. So you can mark water and hold yourself steady here, or you can flee the scene.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark water. I think you see First Snow maybe like turn around and walk back towards the door, but she stops at the wall and she's got this like hand up, like catching herself, thinking.
I say, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I always thought of you as a good friend.
It is not my place to love you. Bow. I forgot your name for a second. It is not my place to love you, Bow.
Bow?
Bow?
Oh, sorry, fuck. I fucked it up, but still. It is not my place to love you, Bow. It's not my place to love you, Jen. But I'll follow you to the end of the earth.
And do you leave?
Yeah, but I think I'll just stand outside the door, right? So it's kind of like let Jen go into sleep.
In that case, like I say, in that case, would you help me? Continue?
Of course. Well, I will look for Jinwei. You should keep up appearances, just for now.
Oh God, I'm such a bad person. Terrible.
So First Snow goes off to find her for you. We see that. Do you stay in the room, or do you, after she goes, do you slip out?
I think I trust First Snow to get her, so I'm going to stay and get ready. Get my things ready for running away, basically.
Okay, pack your bags, get everything set. let's cut back to Bow and Steel Wing. Both of you now sort of suited up and ready. So what's the conversation between the two of you? What do you two want to do?
So I'm very much. It became obvious that Steel Wing doesn't have it out for me here.
Here.
Yeah, right now here. So I see this as an opportunity, or rather, I'm open to what kind of plot, and I'm now indebted to you. You saved my life. How can I assist you? I'm also curious what the hell is going on here, and maybe I can find whoever has it out for me. If it's not Steel Wing right now, someone does.
So I saw you at the tavern. Those were 100 Ghost faction members. And what do you recall from? How did you get trapped? As far as you know,
it was. It's hazy. But Siddhartha Rao came in looking for his sister, but was... Yes. He was peculiarly interested in me taking my bath. Now it's coming back. He must have done this.
So a question about my move, Deadly Secret. Does it have to be like explicitly unrighteous, or do I just know stuff about Sailor Rao even though he's technically in a righteous faction?
No, that's the thing you would have to do a study move on to do something
that makes
there.
Sense.
Yeah.
And I would have to study when around him, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you two, I mean, obviously, now that you know this, I mean, an obvious move now would be if you wanted to move around and try and study and find things out, you could do that.
Oh yeah, I'd like to figure out what the hell happened and why, and any clues as to why would Sedate Ra want to kill Bao.
I want to move the lid back onto the tub, and then I motion towards the window. And what I'm suggesting here is, let's stealth around, find out what's going on by like moving along the walls and over the roofs and listening in on windows, or remaining hidden that way.
Oh, I was just thinking around the bathhouse, but that sounds cooler. I'm up for that.
All right. Well, this is a study move. What's on the table, obviously, for failures is being discovered or other situations arising. I think, Bao, it's been a while since you've rolled, so I want you to do the roll first, and then we'll check in with Steel Wing. What would you like to roll? What represents your creeping around and looking into the matter?
I think it's wood, it's patience, and curiosity.
Then let's have you roll that.
That's a 7.
That is a 7. So you get 1 hold.
Mm-hmm.
What you may ask a question about a situation, about a person, learn a person's scale, or reveal a detail.
Wait, your wood is 0?
Yeah.
And you rolled a 7. I saw a 6 in the board. I'm unsure.
No, it's a 2 and a 5.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 2 and a 5? Okay. Okay, it must be that it hasn't reloaded. Oh yeah, there we go. It's just roll for your party being not showing the right stuff for me.
I think it's about this place and its hidden dangers. Threats that, like, as we're moving up on the roof to kind of get a.
There are. I mean, you know something about the household, and you can see that, there are obviously people from Ox Pilgrim Escort Bureau who are here. There are people from the Purity Sword Sect that are here. But there's also people that they've brought in to, help out with the wedding, to arrange things, servants and things like that. And you definitely have the feeling like there has been some severe infiltration of that. Like there are quite a few of these servants who are helping out, who are perhaps more than they appear.
Yeah, as they like lean over, there's like something tugging up that they definitely have underneath, and I'm like pointing this out to without saying a word as we're like crouching on that.
Steelwing has a move for this, and she will be able to identify them as Holy Society.
Ooh, and I can ask or declare one detail about them, right? So, sorry.
Sorry, go on.
So, can I declare that Ageless Sin is around?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. Because of my move, I can say that Ageless Sin is around.
All right, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, you'll probably see him talking with Sedate Rao.
I want to study that.
All right, why don't you make a what do you want to roll study with?
Well, I was initially thinking wood as well, but this is kind of bad situation. It's less curiosity and more either water or earth. I want to roll earth to fuck things up.
Please do.
All right. Oh, that is a 5. Delicious 5.
Delicious 5. So the good news is you get to mark XP.
Yes, I did.
You will see Sedate Rao and Ageless Sin are speaking, and you will see a master of the Purity Sword Set come in. You recognize him as Many-Tempered Zhao Hu. And they are all now in conspiracy. And then a fourth figure comes in, and you will see Xinhua, Sedate Rao's sister, come in. And
wait, Sedate Rao's sister or the master? Oh, the sister. Oh my god.
This is the fourth figure comes in, and she turns to Sedate Rao and she says, "Is Bao dead?" And he nods, yes. And then there's that moment when you're kind of shocked by this, and the tile slips, and like a roof tile goes and crashes down, and you two, you have to choose. They're going to clearly spot you, or you need to run.
I will choose after Bao, because Bao, I think
I run.
Yeah, I was. If you didn't run, I was gonna take you the hell out of here to make sure that they still think that you're dead.
Okay, so I'm going to have you. Let's move forward. Let's say that cost you the opportunity to find out more. You don't know what they're up to. There's a group of them, but you don't know what's up. And we will cut to the cut from that scene to first snow, and you see Xinhua and her brother kind of coming out of this room, and Sedate Rao says, first snow.
Sedate Rao, Jin is unsure about something with her dress, and she wanted Xinhua's help.
And he will turn to his sister and will go, "Please, sister, if you would go with my good friend First Snow." She will bow, and he will go, "I will go and look into the matter that you spoke of." And she nods, and he heads off, and she says, "Oh yes, let's go."
Yeah, I think as we're walking back, I'll inquire. Shinwa, what matter could be more important on this day than your brother's wedding?
We couldn't find Bao.
Oh,
He came with me into the household, and then he said he was going to go take a bath and headed off.
Is there a way to see if I can like tell if she's lying?
That is a study move.
Okay, maybe I like pause for a second in the hallway because I know Bao came for the wedding, and I have a feeling Bao's not one to miss a party. So I think, yeah, I just want to take a moment and think about that.
Plus, Bao wouldn't let you have all that time alone with Jin.
Yeah, very true. Or Shinwa, apparently. Well,
what do you want to roll with?
I think wood.
Okay.
Not a calculation, but it's like, hold on. What's my wood? I just looked at it. I forgot my modifier. What? Okay. 5.
You have absolutely no suspicion. See, you're kind of taken in by her charm and her laughter, and whatever worries and qualms you had about Bao melt away in her sunny presence. Yeah. Let's have you mark XP.
Oh yeah. Oh, Bao. Yeah, I guess I just shake it off and I head right back to Jin.
Okay. Jin, you wait so that time anxiously. Every time you hear someone move past the door, you maybe get a little tense.
Wait, do you mark key on a failure?
Yeah, that's I said. So we're doing for this. For the one shot.
Key,
yeah.
But like you said, experience, but like key as well.
No, just XP. You don't have to mark a key. Yeah.
All right.
No, I think the cost is you not being able to see it all through this and buying in is plenty delicious for me. But then there's the door opens and you will see First Snow has brought Xinhua with her.
I think I literally like just freeze. Like I was waiting for this moment, thinking, what would I say? How would I like declare my love eloquently? And then I see her, and I like completely freeze.
Yeah, this is hard. I mean, you're gonna have to. I mean, this. If you say this to her, you are betraying your family and the man that is engaged to you, that has given you his trust,
which is her friend, her brother.
Yeah. And I mean, can she even do that to her brother?
So is there a role to discover if I'm a bad person who doesn't care about that?
That's, I think, inner conflict here to see whether you press through or have to back down from this.
Yep.
Mark XP for rolling inner conflict.
For sure. And I think I'm rolling with... Could be metal for the control.
Absolutely. Yeah, you want to do this.
Look, yeah. Okay.
Let's
do that for now.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think I can add anything. Oh, that's an 11. That's an 11.
So you have this is it. I mean, you have to tell her now, or it will be never. And you realize that. What do you say to her?
I say, Xinyu, I've been hiding my feelings for a long time now. You know, I've always been close to you, closer than anyone. And I know that is wrong, and I know that it's bad for our families, and I know I'm betraying your brother. But I cannot contain my feelings anymore. I cannot lie to myself and to others. My heart belongs to you and only to you. And if we have to run away, then so be it. But I will not spend any minute of my life separated from you.
And she looks startled.
Oh, yeah.
And she looks around, and she will say, I'm sorry, I don't love you.
I die.
There is another that I love.
Of course.
And she reaches out and puts her hand on First Snow's arm.
Shinwei.
I'm sorry, I can't hide it myself either. I know you are my brother's good friend, but let's cut from that, shall we?
That's a room of emotion.
I'm dead.
So it's Bao, apparently.
Bao, you and Steelwing have rushed away from this meeting of the 4 conspirators.
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Said Rao and Zinwe are pretty short sect, so I would not have imagined that ever that they would be conspiring against. So it was Ageless Sin, those two, and who else?
And Jin's master, Many-Tempered Zahu.
And I don't know if I know this, but he has secretly trained.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Okay, I do not know that. Okay. And what faction is Many-Tempered?
He is part of the Purity Sword sect as well.
Damn. Okay. I'm like, okay, Bao, what did you do? because
love that you blame him.
Because it's like you pissed off like 3 Purity Sword sects, like enough so that the Holy Society, they hired the Holy Society to deal with you. What the fuck do you do? Or in part of my language, but I'm like, wow.
And I'm like, there's no time for this. I mean,
you're right. There is no time for this. Why don't you explain it now?
I didn't always have this impeccable timing of knowing when to leave a town. And this one time it had to happen. Well, I think there was a fire. I didn't stay long enough to see what all the outcomes were. But speaking of, we need to get to Snow.
For Snow?
Yes.
So I have to. Well, I'm more. I think we have to get to Jin, which should be in the like similar location, I guess. But
well, I have the feeling if we find one, we find the other.
Yes, that is true. Let's go.
And you have a move for that, Maria.
Yes, which is I show up whenever, like, to help someone in.
So I'm going to say that we do that wipe. We see Xinhua put her hand on First Snow's arm, and we see Jin fall back. We see First Snow kind of gasp, and that sort of pain is broken by, you'll hear behind you.
I jump out the window, pointing my spear at Sedate Rao. He's a murderer! Or
Sedate Rao isn't there, though. Sedate Rao isn't there, though.
Oh, he's not there?
No.
I thought he was.
No, it's his sister that he took.
Oh.
Okay, in that case, And I know Xinwei is is also a murderer. So I point my spear at Xinwei and say she is an attempted murderer.
So,
Yes, she murdered my heart.
Steelwing appears through the window. Bao, you're close behind. She knew where to get in. Leaps forward. Xinhua looks startled as Steelwing leaps in with this spear, and she will grab you for Snow to have you protect her.
Yeah, I mean, I have to. I'm gonna draw my sword on you. I'm like blanking on all these names immediately. And
Steelwing.
yeah, Steelwing. God. Oh. Yeah,
Steelwing is easier than just Ryogang, so let's
yeah,
go with
Steelwing. Yep, sword connection.
Yay! We get to do PC versus PC duel. I'm happy.
If you're gonna fight me, I'm up for it.
So she has her spear. You draw clearly to defend. Bao, let me ask what Bao's doing before we check in if this PC versus PC thing is going to happen.
Yeah, I'm just perched on the windowsill.
Okay.
Basically following, and like this is not what I meant when I said we have to find Snow.
Steelwing, who you know is part of Holy Society. Oh boy, you know that's something. And of course, Steelwing, you draw, and there's a flash for a minute, you know, as you recall First Snow's sister.
Oh my god, I'm gonna roll inner conflict so much.
Yeah, I think we're gonna start with that. Is you rolling inner conflict because you're gonna draw down on your friend, and you already killed her sister.
Oh my god. I'm gonna roll with metal, which is a terrible idea because if I fail this, that means I can't fight.
Let's have you roll.
Oh, that's a 10. I'm fine.
Okay, so you keep yourself together. You push that aside, and spear to sword. So Maria,
yes.
You are challenging here.
I guess. Yes.
So when you challenge another PC, say what you'll give them if they accept your victory. You can offer unspent experience, particular character actions, burning bonds, changing to entanglements, or similar things. And you put just one offer on the table for First Snow to decide.
Can I do a combination of XP and something else, or does it have to be like
you could pile it on.
All right. So I will offer 1 XP because that will get you to level up, and I will offer you to explain what my crime is against your sister Ping.
Ooh.
And thus changing my entanglement with you.
So here's the question, First Snow. Do you want that XP? Do you want that explanation of what happened to your sister's fiance? Or do you want to defend Xinhua, who you know Jin loves?
Truly exercising the tension between duty and self here, huh? Yeah, impossible choice. I think, well, because I think if I find out that you murdered my sister's fiance, I'm gonna fight you anyway. So I think I will decline.
All right, cool.
Now you can choose. Now, if you decline the offer, you both mark chi.
And that's whichever chi or
whichever chi you want to mark on this one. You can mark wounded if you wanted.
Okay.
You both mark chi, and you tell me, First Snow, do you want to win or do you want it to be a draw? This is First Snow's choice because he declined.
Okay, I'm thinking. Oh, sorry, First Snow, yes.
I think it'll be a draw, right? Because I think we're both equally talented.
Okay. So we do see that I mean this is not much room for your spear to work in. The sword, you know, you're probably tearing up Jin's dresser. Clothing of wood goes flying everywhere. That will go back until you kind of get to that draw there. I imagine the wedding dress is lying in tatters from the fight there, Jin. And Bao, Jin, you watching to see what was going to happen here. But they kind of lock up where they're kind of held in place where you know that they are equally matched. Jin, I know you died, but now this, what do you say? What do you do?
I say, stop this nonsense. Why are you two fighting? What are these allegations against Shinjui?
Xinyue is a conspirator. She conspired to assassinate Bao.
I obviously believe that because you just told me.
Yeah.
So
it also helps that when you look over, Xinhua is gone.
no.
Well, also Bao is there too and can explain things as well, if you believe him.
Bao, do you interject to help allay Jin's concerns? Or do you want to try and chase down Xinhui by yourself?
Yeah, because we have like there's an open issue. Yes, if I had the chance to see her run off, then I'd be chasing her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Bao is also missing. As you look back.
Bao, I think I want to have you roll overcome.
Mm-hmm. And I'm doing this with speed fire.
Yeah. And then we'll come back to the scene in the room once we set where you're at.
That's a 10.
That is a 10. So you will catch up to her outside in the courtyard. You have the sense that she's running back to find her brother. And you will catch up with her and she will say, "Oh, Bao, thank God you're all right. Steel Wing is gone crazy. She tried to kill me there."
And I whip up one of my arrows with a point underneath her chin, and I'm like, "You remain quiet. You have some explaining to do." And I basically move her back into the shadow of the building to bring her back. Oh, that's what I'm intending.
We will cut back to you in a moment. Let's cut to. Can we assume that we've done the whole thing where Steel Wing is giving you the full story and has told you what has gone on?
Yeah, he has just finished explaining that, and I just say, "Why do I have to love bad girls?"
First, Snow, what's your reaction to this news?
Steel Wing, that is quite the accusation. Bao, and then with my sword, I'm like pointing at the windowsill where Bao was. Bao isn't even here anymore. Where is he to defend his honor?
Xinhua isn't even here to defend her honor either.
You threatened her. Of course she ran.
We must find both of them.
That seems like an appropriate thing to kind of cut the scenes. You decided this can only be resolved by speaking with her, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we will cut back to the arrow underneath Xinhua's chin, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Bao. Handsome Bao.
You little. And I'm like moving forward to make her move backwards, right? Because I want to bring her back. Doesn't mean anything if she says something here. But I'm insulting her, you little snake, right?
What is it that do you think you want to study? Is this what's going on, or do you do we just want to get her to blurt it out?
Yeah, I want to as they to coalesce this, maybe as they three decide this can only be handled by her, by speaking to her. I want to be the one who shoves her back into the room.
Okay, so she's headed out the courtyard. So I'm gonna I think we're gonna have to frame something here, if I may, kind of hard frame here.
Yes.
So I think that we see you kind of push her back, and then you'll see her kind of look over your shoulder, and she smiles, and she will say, "There are many people who seek your death." And you kind of look over your shoulder, and you'll see Sedate Rao and Ageless Sin and Many-Tempered Zhao Hu. And they kind of do that thing where they move out to encircle you.
Well, luckily I still have my arrow underneath her chin, right? So there's this tension. And I just yell, "First snow!"
And first snow, Steel Wing, Jin, you've come out the door, and you will hear Bao shout, and you come running, and you will see Bao has an arrow to Zhao Hu's throat, and you will see Jin, you see your masters there, Many-Tempered Zhao Hu, and you see Sedate Rao, and you will see this other figure who you don't know, and Sedate Rao will say, "First snow! Bao is trying to kill my sister!"
So unsheath my sword again. Like, Bao, unhand her.
You know, I cannot. You have to hear the truth first.
You can say the truth without an arrow shoved into her throat.
It is not. Yeah.
They're kind of talking back and forth. What do you do, Jin?
So I have a conflict here.
Yeah.
Because on one hand, Bao is my friend. On the other one, my master.
Your master shouts, "Jin, you must stop Bao."
Yeah. And this may be a way to impress Xianyu and gain her love, maybe. But my friend, I think inner conflict.
Let's have you roll. Mark that XP and roll. And then I'm going to find out what Steel Wings. Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but we'll figure it out later. So I'm going to roll with I think water, because I need wisdom in this situation to know what's the right thing to do.
That seems fair.
But I don't think
yeah, you can't roll with your style element on conflict. So anything else?
Oh crap! We forgot that and rolled with my style element last inner conflict.
So what would you roll with then, Jin?
I guess this is difficult. I'm not sure. Caution, fire. I think fuck it. Fire. Like, I'm not going to think about this. I'm just going to let my heart speak and see what it says.
Let's have you roll.
Okay. So that's a 10, actually, I think.
Your friend Bao has not lied to you. Everything that has happened has been at Xinhua's whims, and she has denied you already. And your master, there's that look on his face that says that this is not a righteous thing, and you just know that something is wrong here, and and Bao is in the right.
But I want to propose here as first Snow steps towards me and challenges me to lay down my arms and give myself up. That is actually my inner conflict.
Okay, then let's hit your inner conflict, and then I want to check with Steel Wing. First Snow raises that blade at you. Your good friend.
Yeah, my good friend. And I mean, right, my friend First Snow and I vie for the attention of Jin, despite her indifference to both of us.
Yeah.
That says more about what's like how my friendship to First Snow is like.
Yes.
Than my relationship to Jin.
Let's see it.
And
what are you rolling with?
I'm rolling with. This is growth. This is wood.
Yeah.
And it's a 10.
Look at you.
And I think this is I do this like I step back from Sinua, and the arrow vanishes, and with open arms I turn towards First Snow and bow my head, and this is never how I meant this to go.
And that's when Sinwa stabs you. Choo! Knife goes right into your side.
So I mark wounded.
Yes.
Can I do something to stop that?
Well, let me see what Steel Wing's doing, because she's been holding kind of at the wings, hoping that something's going to settle out. Steel Wing, you see this go back and forth. Bao turns, and you'll see that blade come out, and even as that's happening, Ageless Sin is rushing for you. What do you want to do, Steel Wing?
So, question 1.
Yeah.
Or note 1. I shouldn't have rolled.
I don't care. Let's do this scene.
Sorry. All right. I marked she as penalty, just so you know.
Okay.
I will. So let's see. We have. So we have Ageless Sin going after me, and we have Bao getting stabbed, and this going on.
And there are two other significant foes here as well.
Yeah, Sedate Rao and the Master, right?
Yeah.
And do I know Ageless Sin's scale by being his wife?
He's on your scale. Yeah.
All right. And I'm assuming Xinhua is, and I don't know Xinhua's scale or any.
What do you want to do?
I will engage Ageless Sin to give him.
Yeah, you can probably, before he can maybe even get to Bao, you're up there and locked in with him. So did you have? Let me cut back to this. I think I'm gonna hold. I know you want to interrupt, but I think I'm gonna have the dramatic of the stab there, and I think your master is going to kind of land in front of you, Jin, and say, "If you will not fight him, you need to go away," and gestures for you to leave. And Sedate Rao, you've come over to towards Bao, and then Sedate Rao is in front of you, and he will say, "You should leave as well, Snow." So I've
sunk to my knees at
Bao. Bao, you've taken that wound, and it looks like Xinhua is going to try to finish you off. What do you think, Bao? What do you want to do?
As she runs at me to take another, there's suddenly the arrow back again in my hand, and I want to run it through her throat.
Okay, so you are dueling Everybody get ready, because everyone's about to duel someone who is on their scale. Okay.
Is there a way to invoke the inner conflict that I have with Ageless Sin?
Yeah, we'll have you roll before you fight.
All right.
In fact, let's start with you. Let's start with you, an Ageless Sin. Let's have you roll your inner conflict.
All right. I will roll with. I think I want to roll with fire, and that gives you a -1 because I'm wounded.
Okay.
That is a 7.
That is a 7. So there are some choices there for you.
All right. I will mark she to basic, and what I'm aiming for is basically get him to back down a bit more because of his love for Bao.
Okay, so essentially you're bringing that around. You're smacking it, and it is that hesitation where he kind of maybe wants to help Bao, but he can't. He's held his tongue about this plot earlier, and you will be able to force him back, but he does wound you.
I'm already wounded.
But mark it chi.
Yeah. I will mark fire.
Okay, and essentially he uses a steel chain that's kind of barbed on the things, and he has slashed at you with that, kind of wrapped around your spear and pulled you back. But you have him pushed back, controlled. Who do we resolve next?
Oh, was that a duel? Because
yeah, that's what we just did. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were doing inner conflict before the duel.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I jumped forward on that.
Right.
So let's go ahead then and actually resolve the duel then.
All right. That's my medal, which is 2+.
Okay.
And and I don't think the inner conflict. That is a 10.
That is a 10, even with the -2?
Yes.
Okay.
The 2s cancel out, and I rolled a natural 10.
Nice. So tell me what you do.
I will give him the condition, or not condition, but like I will say, help the one you love, and I will let you live.
Okay, so you may mark XP because you showed mercy. Who do you think we should resolve next, Maria?
Let's go with First Snow.
First Snow. Sedate Rao has leapt in front of you, has told you to leave, even as his sister stabbed your friend.
Wow, this is not the way we resolve things. The Purity Sword sect has more honor than this.
and you do not back down, and he will move to engage to fight you.
Yeah, let's do it, Rao.
I just realized that these are Ox Pilgrim, not Purity Sword sects technically, but
yeah,
still.
But go on. So let's look at you first, Snow. He moves in. He uses a saber, but it pales in comparison to your blade, the coral kind of glinting off of it. And you've got that precision, but he's more of a wilder, swinging, trying to force you back with the sheer force of his strikes. Sedate Rao is kind of an oxymoron. He's actually when he fights, he's forceful and fierce and pushing on you. Let's have you roll.
Plus metal. All right, that's a 4.
That is a 4.
High drama.
So he runs you through. He gets up and there's that moment of hesitation when you maybe have that killing blow on him, and he runs you through, and let me ask you this. What do you want to mark? Do you want to mark wounded, or do you want to mark your fighting style chi? What do you want?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna mark wounded.
Okay. Now here is my second question.
Mm-hmm.
Does he kill you?
Oh man. I mean, yeah, I think the game is up now, right? Like they're trying to take Bao out. They've like revealed their hand. Sedate Rao is probably going to like demand this marriage, so that's totally up. Yeah, like what use does Sedate Rao have for me anymore?
He runs it through, and there is that moment when he realizes that he's gotten past the guard, and the only reason he got past your guard is because you wouldn't strike him. And even as you're falling back, you see his eyes go wide. We'll come back to you in a second. Who do we resolve next? Is it Bao or is it Jin?
I think it's gotta be Jin. I like that Bao started. The scene started with Bao and
Yes.
Bao.
Jin,
Yep.
Your master is in your way. Your fiance has just apparently slain First Snow.
I say, well, he has told me to go away and disappear here. I say, no, you cannot manipulate me anymore. I'm not alone anymore. I have friends with me. And that's when the ninjas appear.
Okay.
Flashback. I got a new move.
Okay.
The shadow boxing move. It says a secret order at you, and I can make a flashback per session where they plan or prepare something to help me.
Okay. So are they pulling your master away to give you an opening, maybe to do this, or what do you want?
I think, I mean, I do want to battle my master, of course.
Okay. Then what are they doing? Are they trying to save First Snow or
Yeah.
So for First Snow, your eyes are kind of falling back, and then there's a rush, and these monks appear, sort of wrapped up and so on, and they grab you and they push Sedate Rao back, and they pick you up, and they look to you, Jin, and they nod in a way to say, "We've got this," and they will rush you to the temple to treat you. Your master looks furious and goes to strike at you, Jin.
Oh, and I go to strike him as well.
This is a duel. He is on your scale. Let's have you roll.
Okay. So I'm going to use. How is it? Yeah. Right. How is he attacking me, by the way?
I imagine that since you use the improvised things, he's probably taught you barehanded things. So I imagine that he is like leopard claw, like he is coming at you like this, strikes, try and hit your chi point.
Okay, so let's see how I do. So yeah, I'm going to use my style.
Okay. 3d6. Take the highest. 2.
Okay.
Could still roll a 3.
That's a 12.
Oh, come on. All right. So tell me what you do. How do you defeat him?
So yeah, he comes to he like tries to hit me with his fist, and I moving very little. I avoid them. Like he appears as he's hitting me, like in the shoulder or whatever, but I'm spinning around, absorbing the force of all the moves, and he becomes frustrated, and then he launches for one final attack to kill me, and then I move into his defense, and I launch a counter punch just in his chest.
We hear the cracking. Maybe we get that special effect of the bones giving way, and he'll lift up back. Tell me, is he dead?
I think he is.
yes, lifts up and he crashes to the ground. Just that sort of shock wave from that hit, and he is dead. That's probably what gives a little bit of an opening that Xinhua doesn't immediately, rush at you, Bao. It gives you that time to kind of get that arrow ready, and you were going to duel her. Bao, she's coming at you. Your friends are down.
And I go down as well. 6.
That is a 6.
Oh.
So I think that she stabs you and you stab her.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jin is right there. And whatever Jin has said, Jin still loves her.
Mm.
And I think that, Jin, you see, as your master hits the ground, you will see Bao kill Xinhua, even as Xinhua stabs Bao. Bao, let me ask you a question.
Yep.
Does she kill you? Or are you still alive?
Yes. Barely. I'm
Barely.
barely
So,
still alive at the mercy of
daggered
Jin.
back, and the blood starts to come out in that special, very bright red Shaw Brothers way, and she'll crash to the ground, even as you're wounded. We see sedate Rao kind of going to turn to face you. And I think that's the point at which Ageless Sin leaps over and runs him through. And then looks at you, looks at Steel Wing, and leaps off into the night.
I run towards Bao.
I drop to the ground in front of you. Basically, I'm bleeding out. Like
I think I'm in the middle of the two of them. I'm in the middle of Shinjui and Bao, and like looking around, like, oh my god, like my love and my friend.
Let's do your epilogue here. This is our last scene. So between the two of them, as they're dying, who do you go to, Jin?
Oh god. I think in the end, I go to Bao.
Catch him before he can hit the ground, even as Xinhua falls.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to Bao?
I think I say, I'm sorry, Bao. I'm sorry I could not save you. I was blinded. This all is my fault. I'm sorry. I was sent to kill you, but I never could, and you are dying because of me.
It's like a bloody hand just reaches up over your cheek, very weakly strokes you. Yeah.
And Bao, do you die in her arms or do you live?
I die here.
Eyes flutter and then shut in the arms. He slumps. Steel Wing, what's our last shot with you here in this? You see this tableau, these bodies, sound of the alarm being raised, your husband fleeing off into the night.
I think I grab Jin and flee following my husband. And if it's okay with you, I can imagine Jin like with her arm outstretched, like crying. But I don't want to take that away from you. But
what do you think, Jin?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. And I think then we cut to first Snow. Your eyes kind of flutter open, and these monks are, be still, be still.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to force my way to set up too. Like I have to get to Jen.
And they will try and hold you back, but you will walk past them. They'll walk out into the courtyard where you will see Sinwa dead, many tempered Zhao Hu dead, your friend Sedate Rao dead, and Bao. All these bodies lying there, but Jin and Steel Wing are nowhere to be seen.
Like crouched over Bao's body, really like taking a moment to grieve my friends. Like Bao, we may have only ever known competition, but I wish I would have realized sooner you were the only one I could trust here. I will avenge you. And then dashing off.
Awesome. And that's it. That's our movie. There we go. That is our session. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for leaning into it in the end. Bao. Such a good death. So
Yes.
good. So good. Wow. That was awesome. Nice job with your husband, Steel Wing, Maria. I liked how you used that. And Jin, oh my God. So I had so much fun. So thank you guys very much. That was dynamite for me. I hope you dug it half as much as I did, because I loved it.
Super excellent. That's so much fun.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop the broadcast then, is what I'm going to do. All right.